So look, I am officially challenging you to make $100,000 in 2025. Yes, you heard that right. It's time to stop messing around and to make 2025 the best year you've ever had so far. Now, since it's probably the first time you and I meet, why should you listen to me? My name is Fred, and I went from struggling financially over 5 years ago to building a profitable consulting business and making upwards of $1,000 per day in my early 20s. So the first step in order to make $100K in 2025 is to set very clear goals, and that's why we want to set the goal of making $100K before January 1st, 2026. The thing that I realized very early on is that most people, they don't have goals in life. They might have a rough idea of what they want, but it's not enough to get them to commit to a strategy so they can do the things that they need in order to actually become successful. And what gets you results? It's working at the right thing consistently. That's it. Because a lot of people preach consistency, they talk about being disciplined, and you need that to become successful, absolutely. But if you're doing the wrong thing consistently, it doesn't matter how disciplined or how hardworking you are if you're not working on the right opportunity. So it's extremely important. But if you don't have a precise goal, you cannot measure your progress because you have no aim, you don't have any data. And in business, you need to be able to track everything, because if you don't track anything, you can't optimize anything, and so you can't improve your results. So remember this, we need numbers, data, in order to measure the progress we make towards a goal and to be able to determine the right course of action so we can successfully get what we want. I used to know somebody who told me that the scary thing about life was the fact that every year things were the same, nothing was changing, except we were getting older. And when I heard that, I didn't say anything, but I thought, wow, this is so sad. Because obviously, if you don't take responsibility for your life, for the results that you get, then of course nothing is gonna change. But I see so many people, they expect to get a different outcome, even though they keep doing the same things they've been doing for months and for years. Einstein himself, known to be one of the smartest people that's ever lived, said it himself. The definition of insanity is to expect a different outcome from doing the same thing over and over again. Yet without realizing it, that's what most people do. And this happens because a lot of people, they don't realize how much control they actually have over their life. Now, to be completely honest with you, I don't personally believe in setting New Year's resolutions, because most of the time, these resolutions, they're simply wishes, not goals, so people never really stick with those. It's like you can see at the gym, in the first few weeks of January, it's packed, and then by mid-January to beginning of February, all of a sudden there's a lot less people, because most people have already given up. There's only 3 things that can actually prevent you from successfully making $100K in 2025. The first is fear. Plenty of people don't get started, or if they do, they quit. So that's the second thing, quitting too soon. And the third thing is not working on the right thing, not having a clear, proven step-by-step process to follow. Because I can tell you for a fact, I struggled for years before I started to sign my first customers and to make my first thousands of dollars online, because I didn't have a proven step-by-step process. Because I was trying to figure everything out on my own, and I wasn't willing to invest in myself at the time. And honestly, if I could go back in the past, I would change that. Because if I had invested in myself sooner, right now, I would be 10 times more successful and 10 times wealthier. And it's not so much about the money, but rather it's about all the time I lost working on the wrong thing. Because you can never get back the time that you lose, but you can always make more money. Which is funny because growing up in the lower middle class, I saw most people around me putting money on a pedestal instead of prioritizing their time. To give you an example, my mother would often spend hours of her time filling out online surveys just to get coupons or free products from the grocery store. So the emphasis was on selling your time instead of selling value to make more money. That's what businesses do. They don't sell time necessarily, they sell value, and that is the key to riches. So while I don't set New Year's resolutions, I do set new goals for every year. And so if you're just getting started, setting the goal to make $100K in 2025 can be a very good starting point. And when you set a big goal, even if you don't achieve it 100%, even if you manage to get 70% of the way there, you still made $70,000 remotely with just a Wi-Fi connection and a laptop. That's a massive accomplishment that most people will never do in their whole lives. Because remember, most people have fear, they quit too soon, or they don't have the right proven step-by-step process. And those are the 3 reasons why I was still broke over 5 years ago. So now that you know what you want and why you want it, how exactly do you go about making $100K in 2025? Let me share with you the best business model to make a lot of profit quickly: consulting. So what is consulting exactly? You typically help a group of people that we call a niche to solve a painful problem. So let me give you a few examples to make it more clear. You could sell lead generation offers to businesses like I was doing back in 2022. I was helping agency owners, coaches, and consultants to book more meetings with their ideal customers to increase their sales. I have some of my clients who offer video editing services, and the best part about it is that they're not even the ones providing the service for the clients. They use remote contractors, and that allows you to sell any kind of service even if you don't know how to do it yourself. And the other thing that you can do is coaching directly. For example, if you have a fitness offer, you help people to get in shape, you can't do it for them. You have to teach them how it's done. You could help people to overcome an addiction, to be less stressed, to find their ideal jobs. There's plenty of things that you can do. And the benefits of this business model is that it has very low costs, meaning you don't need $10,000 to be able to start that business, unlike most product-based businesses. And unlike starting a brick-and-mortar business, a gym, a restaurant, a hair salon, or a shop, you would need $100,000 at the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum, remember? So most likely it's going to be at least a few hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to start the business. So that doesn't even include the monthly costs to keep running the business as well. But with a consulting business, you have none of that. At worst, you would have to spend maybe $50 per month on softwares, but that's pretty much it. This business model also has a high income potential. Why? Because you charge premium prices for your expertise. So typically, we charge anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 per customer, and it depends on what you sell and who you sell it to. Because the more painful the problem that you help people to fix, the more you can charge for it. What's the difference in pay between a regular fast food employee and a brain surgeon? The brain surgeon gets paid more because they have an expertise that's more valuable, that solves more painful problems. And that's why, if you can help people to solve the problems that they have, you will be very wealthy. Because people will not just pay you because you want to make money. You have to give them something that's valuable enough in exchange. And the perceived value of your offer has to be higher than the price that people pay for it. Otherwise, the transaction will simply never occur. To give you another example, let's say you go to the Bugatti dealership and you buy a car for $1 million. It's crazy to even think about, right? Buying a car for $1 million. Most people will never make $1 million in their lifetime, and for that price, you could buy incredible houses, but some people decide to spend that money on a car. But technically speaking, it's just a car. It goes from point A to point B, you know? You could get a Toyota. You could even take the bus. But why do some people spend $1 million on a car? Well, because the perceived value of the car is higher than the price they're willing to pay for it. So the value of something, really, it's determined by the marketplace and by how available it is. The more rare something is, the more expensive it's gonna be. That's why if you wanted to buy a rock or some sand, it's not gonna be nearly as expensive as if you were trying to buy gold or diamonds. And then the other benefit of a consulting business is that it's extremely scalable. If you use the right frameworks, the right systems, you can really build it into an empire that makes you hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. The other pro of this business is the flexibility it gives you. You can work from anywhere in the world. I love traveling, I love seeing new places, and I would have never been able to travel to do the things I love in my early 20s with a regular 9-to-5 job while at the same time making over $1,000 per day in profit. So it's crazy to even think about the kind of opportunities that were brought about by the internet and more precisely social media. Now to help you, I've recorded a free video in which I share with you everything I did step by step to build my consulting business to upwards of $1,000 per day in profit. And I'm also going to reveal the only 3 things you need to focus on doing if you're serious about making money. I will leave the link in the description below, or you can also directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you to grow your business. So a huge mistake I see plenty of people making when they try to start an online business is that they want to sell physical products instead of going and selling services or coaching. Because the problem when you try business models like dropshipping or things like Amazon FBA, where you have to sell physical products, is that profit margins are extremely thin, between 5 to 20% at most. And because you don't charge high ticket prices, you need hundreds of customers per month just to make a decent income. So if we do the math together, if you made $10,000 in a month selling physical products, you would only keep, remember, 5 to 20%. So in numbers, this would be $500 up to $2,000. Whereas when you sell services or coaching, your profit margins can be as high as 98%. And in business, what matters is what you keep, not what you make. You could make $1 million, but if you only keep $100,000, it's not that great. I would much rather make $200,000 and keep $190,000 as opposed to making $1 million but only keeping $100,000. If anything, it's extremely frustrating. So do not let the numbers fool you. Now, when wanting to start a consulting business, people typically have a few misconceptions. They think, oh, but I don't have any skills or any expertise. Well, if it's really the case, you could leverage remote contractors to deliver a service for your clients, because you would be the CEO, the business owner. You essentially connect buyers and consumers, just like Amazon, Booking, and Airbnb.com are doing. Even Uber is using that same business model. They provide a service without doing it themselves. They are simply a platform connecting buyers and consumers. You can do the same with services using remote contractors. And a lot of the time, you don't even realize it, but there is a skill inside of you or a knowledge inside of you that you could absolutely monetize. Maybe in the past you got in shape. Maybe you overcome an addiction. Maybe you've been able to land your dream job. You could help other people to do the same. Ideally, it's the best if you can pick a niche you are a part of yourself. The reason I help people to start a profitable consulting business, it's because that's what I did. And I know what it's like to struggle with money and to want so much more. So I'm really passionate about what I do. I'm really passionate about helping my clients to get the best possible results. So now it's time for you to go ahead and to accept the challenge and to get started. So the first step is to make a written commitment that you are going to work on your consulting business and set the goal of making $100,000 in 2025. So when you're done watching this video, write it down and sign your name underneath. Now 100k can seem like a big number to hit, a big milestone, which is why we always want to break down big goals into smaller goals. If you wanted to make 100k per year, you would need to make 8.3k per month, so it makes it a lot more achievable. And then you can pick a price tag just to have a rough idea, even if you don't know what you're gonna sell yet, but pick a price tag between $1,000 to $5,000. Now if you're a beginner, I suggest to obviously start with a smaller price tag, but it's really going to depend on what you're selling and to who. That's the most important thing. And then just reverse engineer. How many clients would you need per month to be able to hit your monthly desired income? So if you wanted to make $10,000 per month, you would only need 10 clients at $1,000 or 5 clients at $2,000. So it's much simpler to work with a few customers and to help them to solve a painful problem that they have, as opposed to trying to resell the same crappy products on the internet as everybody else with a dropshipping store. So now it's time for you to commit to making 2025 the best year of your life. We're still in the early days of 2025, so do not waste your time. Get started and stop waiting. I've spoken to hundreds of people and I speak to dozens of people on a weekly basis, and every single time I notice a common trend among the people who do succeed and the people who fail. The people who succeed, they make decisions quickly and they take action quickly, because the longer you wait to get started, the more doubt just creeps in your mind, and then you're paralyzed, and before you realize it, you can't do anything, you can't take action, and another 6 months have passed and you're still in the same situation. That's why you need to become an action taker. And I really get you if you struggle with taking action, because I myself used to really struggle with procrastination because I was overthinking everything constantly. I would wait for the perfect circumstances, even though there's no such thing as perfect circumstances. It's only a lie manufactured by your brain, an excuse to keep you in your comfort zone. But if you keep doing exactly what you're doing, nothing is gonna change, which is why you need to make a choice now. You can keep watching YouTube videos, but most likely doing this will not make you more money. But if you're part of that minority of ambitious individuals who's committed to building a profitable business in 2025, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below, or to directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you to build your business. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together, let's blow up this YouTube channel to empower more people to become financially free. And to thank you, when we get to 100,000 subs, I will be giving away $10,000.